Pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, how much of this division you think is intentional? How much of it is real? How much of it is divisive? How much of it is manipulation? You know, because it's bleeding into businesses, it's bleeding into universities, it's bleeding into families, it's bleeding in media network. Yeah. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it intentional?
So I think a couple things there. It's such an interesting topic here. One is, I like to start with just facts. When I heard about the description of this video, I was having to watch the video. The video actually surprised me, right? I imagined, like, when it was this student walkout from Duke, I was imagining, like, many of those students flooding out. What do you see there? You see, like, a small trickle of people holding a flag they probably don't even know what it is, walking out, and most of them are being booed as they're doing it for interrupting the commencement. You saw the same thing at University of Michigan, actually. Fringe minority, as they're being removed from disrupting the proceedings, you have uproars in the audience. So I think this is the first thing to observe is what you're seeing, first of all, is not some tyranny of the majority. It is a tyranny of the fringe minority, actually. That's the first observation. The second observation is now let's double-click on that minority, right? That fringe minority. It'd be one thing, Patrick, if we talked to those people, they had a deep historical understanding of dating back to not only 1960 or 1940, but dating back to 0 or 200 BC. And make a historical case for why this land does not belong to Israel and deserves to be autonomous, and from the river to the sea, could they name which river and which sea? That'd be one thing. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a group of students, and it's not just students, but it's a generation that is largely lost. And I don't say that insulting anybody. I say it in some ways regretting our own failures as the generation that came before them to give them purpose and meaning in this country. The very people who were protesting after George Floyd's death, and by then what we're talking about, violent riots. I mean, that was actually one of the interesting things is you're seeing a lot more media attention here. You didn't get a lot of media attention in 2020 when they were bashing in storefronts in the inner city across and burning down cities in places like Minneapolis and Wisconsin. That didn't make the news in the way that this is right now, which is interesting, but it's many of the same people or the same kinds of people adopting this cause as their latest cause du jour. And so what do I think is going on? It's a tyranny of the fringe minority. Most of the people in that fringe minority aren't actually against what they claim to be against. It's just that they don't even know